The conference room fell completely silent the moment the projector displayed a photograph that was never supposed to exist. Every smile disappeared. Every whispered conversation stopped. One image, taken during what everyone believed had been an ordinary company retreat, shattered years of trust in less than 10 seconds. By the time the meeting ended that afternoon, one respected employee had lost his career, his marriage was collapsing, and his reputation had become the subject of every hallway conversation in the building. Yet the truth behind that photograph was far more heartbreaking than anyone was willing to believe. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps our community continue sharing stories that remind us how quickly judgment can destroy a life, and how compassion can sometimes save one. For nearly 12 years, Graham Mercer had been the kind of coworker every office wished it had. He arrived early, stayed late when deadlines demanded it, remembered birthdays without needing reminders, and quietly helped new employees learn the ropes without asking for recognition. People described him as dependable rather than exciting, steady rather than brilliant, and trustworthy above everything else. He had built a reputation brick by brick through thousands of ordinary decisions that proved his character. At home, he and his wife, Elise, had weathered difficult years together. They had survived layoffs, medical bills, and the disappointment of losing a small business they had once dreamed would change their future. Their marriage was not perfect, but it had endured because they believed honesty mattered more than appearances. When the company's annual leadership retreat was announced, Graham almost declined. Elise had been recovering from surgery, and he hated leaving her alone for even a single day. She insisted he attend, reminding him that opportunities for promotion rarely appeared twice. The retreat was scheduled at a countryside conference center only a short drive away, making it possible for everyone to spend the day together before returning home that evening. It was designed to strengthen teamwork through workshops, volunteer projects, and collaborative problem-solving exercises. Graham kissed Elise goodbye that morning with the ordinary confidence of a husband expecting another routine workday. Neither of them imagined their lives would be unrecognizable before sunset. Among the participants was another employee named Vanessa Cole, an ambitious marketing manager known for her charm and relentless drive. She possessed remarkable talent but often measured success by attention rather than accomplishment. She wanted recognition, influence, and a senior leadership position before turning 40. Graham respected her creativity but quietly avoided office politics, which frustrated Vanessa because she believed everyone should play the same competitive game. She often interpreted Graham's calm professionalism as arrogance, even though he simply preferred solving problems over winning arguments. The retreat unfolded peacefully beneath bright blue skies. Teams planted trees for a local community project, solved outdoor challenges, and shared lunch on a spacious lawn surrounded by green fields. Laughter echoed across the property as co-workers who normally exchanged only emails discovered one another's personalities beyond office walls. The atmosphere encouraged openness, trust, and friendship. No one noticed the invisible cracks already forming beneath the surface. During the afternoon, one volunteer activity paired employees to deliver donated supplies to a nearby community center. Graham was assigned to help Vanessa transport several heavy boxes. The drive lasted less than 20 minutes, and they spent most of it discussing work improvements and family responsibilities. When they arrived, they discovered an elderly volunteer had collapsed from dehydration while organizing donations. Without hesitation, Graham rushed to help. Vanessa immediately called emergency services while Graham remained beside the frightened woman, keeping her calm until paramedics arrived. The emergency lasted only a short time before professionals assured everyone the woman would recover completely. A freelance photographer covering the company's volunteer activities happened to capture several moments during the confusion. Most photographs showed employees unloading supplies or working together, but one image froze a heartbreaking instant when the exhausted volunteer lost her balance. Graham had reached forward to prevent her from falling, while Vanessa stood beside him with one hand on his shoulder after ending her emergency call. From a distance and without context, the photograph looked strangely intimate. It revealed none of the panic surrounding the medical emergency. It simply showed two coworkers standing unusually close together. The photographer uploaded hundreds of retreat images to a shared company folder the following morning. Almost no one paid attention until someone isolated that single photograph, cropped away the elderly volunteer, and circulated it privately with a cruel caption suggesting Graham and Vanessa had secretly become involved during the retreat. Within hours, whispers spread faster than facts. Every retelling added new details nobody had witnessed. Casual speculation transformed into confident certainty. Office gossip is rarely satisfied with uncertainty. People prefer dramatic stories to ordinary truth. By lunchtime, employees claimed Graham and Vanessa had disappeared together for hours. Others insisted they had been flirting for months. Some even invented secret meetings that had never occurred. Each rumor fed the next until fiction completely replaced reality. Someone anonymously emailed the cropped photograph to Elise. Her world collapsed before she had even finished reading the message accompanying it. The picture seemed convincing because it arrived wrapped in accusations and false confidence. Graham had always been faithful, yet betrayal is easier to imagine than conspiracy when painful evidence appears unexpectedly. She cried through the afternoon, unable to decide whether 12 years of trust had been genuine or merely an illusion she desperately wanted to preserve. At work, Graham noticed conversations stopping whenever he entered a room. Friends who normally greeted him warmly suddenly avoided eye contact. Invitations disappeared. Meetings became uncomfortable. He sensed something had changed but could not understand why until Human Resources summoned him to discuss concerns regarding professional conduct. When the photograph appeared on the conference room screen, he felt as though the floor had disappeared beneath him. His explanation sounded weak against an image stripped of context. He described the medical emergency, the elderly volunteer, the ambulance, and the confusion of the moment. Unfortunately, very few people wanted explanations after they had already accepted a scandal. Leadership placed him on administrative leave while conducting an investigation, insisting the decision protected everyone involved. By the time Graham returned home that afternoon, Elise had packed a suitcase. She was not screaming or accusing him. The quiet disappointment in her eyes hurt more than anger ever could. She admitted she wanted to believe him, but everywhere she looked people were already treating the photograph as undeniable proof. She needed time away to think clearly. Watching her drive away was the loneliest moment of Graham's life. Days turned into weeks. Former colleagues stopped calling. Neighbors began offering awkward smiles filled with curiosity rather than kindness. His parents received concerned phone calls asking whether the rumors were true. Years spent building respect disappeared almost overnight because one misleading image confirmed a story people found entertaining. Vanessa suffered differently. Although rumors claimed she had willingly participated in an affair, she knew exactly what had happened during the volunteer emergency. She initially remained silent because she feared speaking publicly would intensify the scandal and damage her own career. Instead, her silence unintentionally strengthened the lies. Every day she delayed correcting the record, Graham's reputation deteriorated further. The guilt became unbearable. One afternoon she visited the community center where the volunteer incident had occurred. The elderly woman, Margaret Doyle, recognized her immediately and warmly thanked her and Graham once again for helping save her from serious injury. Margaret explained that security cameras covered nearly every entrance and courtyard around the building. Vanessa suddenly realized the truth had been quietly waiting in archived footage all along. She contacted the community center director, who reviewed the recordings from that afternoon. The video clearly showed Margaret stumbling, Graham catching her before she struck the pavement, Vanessa calling emergency services, and paramedics arriving minutes later. Even more importantly, the recording proved the cropped photograph had deliberately removed the most important person from the scene. Vanessa carried the evidence directly to company leadership. The investigation changed instantly. Digital analysts confirmed someone had intentionally edited the original image before distributing it. The anonymous email sent to Elise originated from another employee, Owen Barrett, who had secretly competed against Graham for an upcoming executive promotion. Owen believed destroying Graham's credibility would eliminate his strongest competition. He never expected the rumor to grow so large, but once it spread, he allowed innocent people to suffer rather than admit what he had done. The company terminated Owen immediately for deliberate misconduct, harassment, and falsifying evidence. Leadership publicly apologized to Graham, acknowledging that they had acted too slowly in verifying the facts before allowing rumors to shape important decisions. The original photographs, complete security footage, and official investigation findings were shared with every employee. The apology repaired company records. It did not instantly repair broken hearts. Graham still had to rebuild friendships that had vanished. Some coworkers apologized sincerely. Others avoided him because facing their own willingness to believe the worst felt deeply uncomfortable. Trust, once broken, heals slowly even when innocence is proven. The hardest conversation awaited him at home. Elise returned carrying tears instead of luggage. She admitted that fear had spoken louder than faith. She confessed she regretted allowing strangers to define the man she had loved for more than a decade. Graham admitted he understood why the photograph had shaken her confidence because he might have struggled the same way under similar circumstances. Forgiveness did not erase the pain they had experienced, but it allowed them to begin building something even stronger than before, a marriage rooted not in perfect certainty but in honest communication. Vanessa also changed profoundly. She accepted responsibility for remaining silent when her voice could have protected someone else. She began speaking openly within the company about the danger of workplace gossip, manipulated images, and assumptions disguised as facts. Her courage inspired new policies requiring investigations before disciplinary action based on anonymous accusations. She transformed one of the darkest experiences of her professional life into an opportunity that protected countless others. Graham eventually accepted a leadership role, though not because of sympathy. Employees who witnessed his resilience recognized qualities that no resume could fully capture. They saw a man who refused bitterness even after losing nearly everything. Instead of seeking revenge against those who had judged him unfairly, he encouraged compassion, reminding everyone that people often make terrible decisions when fear replaces patience. Years later, new employees occasionally heard fragments of the old story, but veterans always finished it with the truth rather than the rumor. They remembered not the scandal but the lesson. A single photograph can deceive. A single lie can spread like wildfire. A single careless assumption can destroy relationships that took decades to build. Yet one honest act, one courageous confession, and one willing heart can begin restoring what seemed impossible to recover. Before this story comes to an end, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment sharing whether you believe people should wait for the full truth before judging someone, or whether you've ever witnessed rumors unfairly damage a person's life. Graham and Elise celebrated their 15th anniversary surrounded by family and close friends who understood the value of trust. Vanessa continued mentoring young professionals, teaching them that integrity is measured most clearly when telling the truth comes at a personal cost. Margaret never forgot the strangers who had helped her during a frightening moment, and every holiday season she mailed handwritten cards reminding them that ordinary kindness often creates extraordinary miracles. The greatest victory was never Graham getting his job back or clearing his name. His greatest victory was refusing to let injustice transform him into someone consumed by resentment. He proved that character is revealed not when life is easy, but when everything you have built is threatened by lies beyond your control. In the end, truth arrived more slowly than gossip, but it arrived with enough strength to outlast every false story that had once seemed impossible to overcome. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. May we all remember to choose compassion before conclusions, patience before judgment, and truth before rumor, because sometimes the life we save by waiting for the full story is someone else's, and sometimes it is our own.